Kristen, and this is my Dalmatian Halli. We're getting ready to read this book called Blaze of Glory, so I hope you guys enjoy this book. Working at the fire station was my favorite job in the whole world. It has been my home for 10 years. The firemen were my best friends. We did everything together. We ate snacks, took naps, and played fetch. Most of the time, it was a fun place to be. My favorite thing was when the bells rang. Whenever the bells started to ring, we would climb into the trucks and drive to the fires. Sometimes they were at houses, and other times they were at big buildings. Each time we climbed into the trucks, I knew we were going on an adventure. I always wanted to help with the fires. When we arrived on the scene, I would run towards the fire, barking at the men to hurry up with their hoses of water. They would run into the building and I would try to follow. My best friend John always grabbed me by the collar and said, "Stay here, sport. It's too dangerous for you." My job was to stay with the families. It wasn't always fun. The firemen were angry with the fire. People got hurt and cried. I'd let them hug me and I'd lick their faces to make them feel better. Even when it wasn't a fun adventure, John always gave me treats when we got back in the truck. He would scratch behind my ears and say, "You did a good job, Blaze." After that, we would go home and I would take a nap. I was happy that John was proud of me, but I wished I could help them save people. It was hard to stay behind when I knew somebody needed help, but I always liked being told that I was a good boy. I loved my job and I never thought things would change. I started to sense that something's wrong. The firemen had been saying things like, "He's starting to get too old. We should think about retiring him and getting a new dog." I didn't know what any of that meant, but it didn't sound good. John had tried sticking up for me. I could tell because he knelt beside me and said, "He's a good dog. He's hardworking and loyal. Everyone here loves him." I didn't know what that meant either. John scratched behind my ears, and from the tone in his voice, I knew everything was okay. At least that's what John wanted me to believe. I knew my instincts were right when the fireman brought in a small pup one day. He walked around the firehouse sniffing everything. I followed closely behind, making sure he didn't get into any trouble. He kept trying to chew on things that weren't for him, and I knew it was my job to keep him in line. John said the pup had been through training, and I knew what that meant. I remembered my training before I was allowed to ride along the fires. The firemen started sharing snacks and taking naps with the pup. Before I knew it, he would be riding along with us to the fires. I wasn't sure I wanted him to do that. No one listened, in my opinion. The bells started ringing and the firemen put on their boots and raced towards the trucks. I beat them there, barking at them to hurry up like I always did. The pup followed John to the truck and John scooped him up, placed him on the seat. He knelt down beside me and handed me a treat. "Let's give our new friend a chance today, boy." John climbed in the truck and drove off, leaving me in the drive. I stood there until I couldn't hear the sirens anymore. Once the truck was gone, I went to take a nap. After that, the pup took over everything. He went to the fires and played fetch at the firehouse. I didn't get to go to the fires much anymore. Some days I didn't do anything at all. I was starting to think I wouldn't get to go to the fires at all anymore. I was feeling sad. And then one day the bells went off, and John whistled at me. "Come on, Blaze." I stood up, wagging my tail. I watched John place his boots on, and I began pacing with excitement. I missed going to the fires, even if they wouldn't let me help. But that day, John knelt in front of me and frowned. He rubbed his hand under my chin and said, "Come on, Blaze. Are you ready for your last mission?" I didn't know what he meant by that, but he sounded sad. I licked his face with the same feeling of sadness. I didn't know why John was sad, but I wanted him to know I was going to be there during this fire, like I had been for years. I walked by the pup, chasing his tail in front of the truck. I hopped into the front seat beside John and barked at the pup. It was my turn to go to the fire. The truck pulled away from the station and sped down the road. The loud sirens were blaring in my ears. I stuck my head out the window and let my tongue hang out. This was always my favorite moment working at the firehouse. I began to sniff the air as the familiar scent of smoke hit my nose. I knew that smell all too well. It meant danger. John and the other firemen climbed out of the truck and ran back towards the hoses. I scanned the house, looking for signs of danger. Fire crept out of the window. The front door was covered in flames. Please, little boy. Please, my little boy is still in there. You have to save him, a woman cried. John told her they would do everything they could, but I knew what I had to do. I could hear the boy's cry of, "Help me," coming from the second story. I knew I wasn't supposed to go into the houses, but John wasn't going in. He was taking too long. Somebody had to save him. I bolted towards the house. I could hear John shouting, "Blaze, no!" I didn't stop. I leapt through an opening the flames created in the doorway and ran for the stairs. I could hardly see the smoke that filled the air. I found the boy standing in the corner of a room with his hands over his face. The boy looked at me when I licked his hands. I barked at him. The boy shook his head. I could sense his fear and knew he wasn't going to move on his own. I walked behind him and pushed his legs with my forehead, making him move forward. With shaking hands, he grabbed onto my collar and I led him down the stairs. Flames lashed out at us. The boy was crying. I waited for a break in the flames as daylight appeared through the front doorway. I trotted through the doorway and led the boy towards his mother. The sound of applause filled my ears. John came running towards me. He hugged me tightly. "You did it, boy, you did it." I was proud of my hard work, but no one was happier than John. He knelt beside me the next day with a newspaper in his hand. I tried to take it from him, thinking he wanted to play, but he stopped me. "Look, boy, you made the front page." There was a picture of a small boy holding onto me as we left the house. "Blaze of Glory," John read the title, as the best part is that the fire station agreed we should keep you. You can share the job with our new friend. Teach him how to be a good firehouse dog. You may be getting old, but you're more than just a mascot in this house. You're a true hero. And that's the end of the story.
Aww. I love that story. And I think Blaze is going to be just fine. I think he's going to retire and teach the new dog old tricks. Well, thank you very much, Kristen and Halli. And we have many followers of Dalmatian-owned humans, and they have sent photos in from all over the world. Share. Aren't they beautiful? Kristen, what do you know about why firehouse dogs are commonly the Dalmatian? Is there anything you can tell me about that?
So originally, Dalmatians were used to guard the horses when departments still used horse and carriage
Oh,
before they got fire engines. And it's just kind of tradition that Dalmatians are used to guard horses. You see it often even outside of firehouses, but they always kept good guard and were always on the lookout.
it's such gorgeous animals. We have a special guest, I see. And this is Casey.
This is Casey, yeah.
Hi, Casey. And Nikki. And where are you from, Nikki?
We're from northern Alberta in Canada, so we're way up north. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. Do you want to tell us something about Casey? How old is she?
Casey's actually a boy, but he just turned 1 last week, actually. So he's working lots on learning his manners and learning how to be calm because he's kind of a toddler right now. So he's working hard on that.
Oh, he's a big boy for a year-old, isn't he?
Yeah, he's about 60 pounds. So.
Oh my gosh, well, he's gorgeous. And we also have Leah. Hi, Leah.
Hi.
Oh, look at the baby. Now,
Yes,
you just got her within a year, right?
yes,
You're
I got her last October. She
uh-huh.
came out of a breeder of merit in New York, AKC breeder of merit. She had been actually returned to the breeder. Her owner had some serious health issues, and so that's how I ended up getting her. That was a tiny dog. Don't get a Dalmatian.
She is stunning. Well, that's live video for you, right?
She is just turned a year old in May.
Oh,
no.
And her name's Lots of Spots Samantha, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's darling. Oh my gosh. And then here we have Dell and Spanner. Oh my gosh, look how beautiful.
Oh, he's pretty.
Dell, what can you tell us about Spanner?
Well, Spanner's a year and a half old,
Uh-huh.
and we got him in a breeder up around Fort Wayne.
Okay.
And he is a lot of energy, so I understand if you've not had a Dalmatian before, they are a bundle of love and a lot of energy.
And stunning. I love the spots. I didn't know that they come in different colors and long hair, short hair. There's a lot more to Dalmatians than I realized.